it is very, very clear that our scholars understood that something might be tashabbuh in one time or one place or one land, but it is not tashabbuh in another time or another place or another land. And that is, I think, where, unfortunately, a lot of times when you hear these haram fatwas, those scholars are not following this simple rule. Certain things might have been tashabbuh, they're no longer tashabbuh. Now, this is pretty clear. But let's get to the final issue before we get to the actual, we haven't even done the Eids yet. We're going to do that in a while, inshallah. Don't worry, we'll get it done today, inshallah. Let's get to the final issue. We talked about a culture ceasing to be unique to non-Muslims, like the libas. What if a religious ritual ceases to be a religious ritual? You see the difference between the libas and the ritual? What if something that used to be from the deen of the non-Muslims, slowly over time, stopped to be from their deen and became something from their culture? This is the key point here, okay? Does the ruling, is it related to the origin, such that no matter what happens, we will go back to the origin? Or is the ruling related to how people perceive it, such that if it's ritual, it will be ritual, and if it is custom, it will be custom? Remember, rule number 1 was rituals are haram to imitate. That's rule number 1, right? Well, what if it used to be a ritual, but it is now a custom and no longer a ritual? Okay, here is where we have two camps. Here is where we had two schools of thought. A well-known position, and this is the one that basically makes these celebrations haram, is that it doesn't matter how people view it, we go back to the origin. And if the origin is pagan, then the ritual will be pagan, even if it is no longer practiced as paganism. And this is the basis of which many celebrations are considered to be haram. And you will read this in any fatwa that makes it haram. They will go back to its origin. They'll look up some book. A lot of times it's not even true. Sometimes it might be true. It's irrelevant whether it's true or not. But the point is that the tahrim is based on its origin. And they say, what is the origin of birthdays? What is the origin of Nowruz? What is the origin of New Year's? What is the origin of this and that? And they will go and link it to something pagan. The famous fatwa you've all heard of, what is the origin of the ties? Even though this is a myth, the origin of the ties is not the cross, but still, the fatwa was given, and so it's still common in our days to hear it. The ties used to be a Christian symbol, and therefore it is haram because the origin is a Christian symbol. So they will link it to the origin. However, I respectfully disagree with that, and I say that it is very clear looking at the Sharia and at lived realities, and I'll explain. It is very clear, and in my mind, personally, it is crystal clear, and this is the position of, frankly, the majority of scholars of the world beyond one strand of Islam. There's one strand that is very hardcore on this, but the majority of scholars of the world beyond that strand, they don't view it this way. They say that what is considered to be a custom is a custom regardless of its origin being a ritual. You look at the niyyah, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. You look at the niyyah, and they actually bring the evidence of the hadith of Buwana. Remember this, the slaughter of the camel? They bring that back. There's an interesting point here. In one version, when the man comes and says to the Prophet, I want to slaughter a camel in Buwana, in one version, Ibn Majah, the Prophet ﷺ says, do you find something of Jahiliyyah still in your heart in Buwana? And the man says, no. So the Prophet said, in that case, go to Buwana. Notice what he linked it to. Do you find some of the feelings of Jahiliyyah? Do you still have that veneration? Is that something? Why Buwana? What is there? Is that something you're linking to Jahiliyyah? He said, no. In that case, then go. So, niyyah matters. Not that Buwana might have been a pagan land 1,000 years ago. The man did not feel any attachment religiously to Buwana. Do you have anything in your heart of Jahiliyyah? No? Okay then, go do it. This hadith is in Ibn Majah. And from this, I would say the majority of scholars beyond that one strand that thinks they're following Ibn Taymiyyah, but I don't think they're following Ibn Taymiyyah, that one strand, they beyond that one strand, they basically say, we don't look at the origin 15,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. We look at the lived reality. And based on that, therefore, they say, if the people don't view this as being a ritual and they view it as being a custom, then we will view it as being a custom and not a ritual. And this is, I would say, the lived experiential reality of human beings. Let us look at the issue of birthdays. Who in the world celebrates a birthday thinking of some type of paganism? Nobody. Even pagans who do pagan stuff don't do birthdays with the niyyah of paganism. They go to the woods and do whatever they do. They don't do birthdays. Rituals of paganism are gone. By the way, I don't even know if it is true, because to be brutally honest, a lot of times these fatwas, they find hodgepodge type of things and they bring them in. Academic studies need to be done that are a little bit more thorough. Is it really something that is 100% solely coming out of paganism? But even if it is, it doesn't change the fact that it is no longer done. So those scholars who say, let's look at the origin, they will also say, for example, you cannot buy Nike. Nike is haram. It's a well-known fatwa. Why is Nike haram according to this group? Because the guy who made Nike, where's the Nike guy who works here? Where's our Nike guy? He's not here? Huh? We have 3 people from Nike in our masjid, mashallah. Did you not know that? You should get free Nike gifts, alhamdulillah, as well. If you know them well, they'll give you a free Nike shoe. Give them your shoe size. So they say Nike is haram. Why is Nike haram? Because that swoosh is the symbol of, what is the symbol of? Which one? You're the Nike guy. Yeah, see, here we have the Nike guy, okay?
He's not raising his hand.
No, don't worry. I'm not going to say it's haram. Don't worry. You can raise your hand. You should know the symbol of your own company. It is the Greek god of victory. It is the Greek god of victory. Now, to believe that somebody is going to buy Nike to venerate the Greek god of victory and to put the god on his shoe to venerate it. I mean, you tell me, does this make sense to you? But see, this is again the problem of, Allah bless all of our ulama, but I have to say, see, these types of fatwas, unfortunately, what they do, they disconnect the masses from their ulama. This is the problem. They disconnect the masses from their ulama, and the fatwa is baseless. It's not based in academic training of Islam. Somebody's going to put a symbol of a god on his shoe to respect the god. What type? So that's their fatwa. They say, khalas, it comes from there. But you see, these same people that say wearing Nike is haram, these same groups of people, they will have no problems talking about the days of the week and the days of the month, which are all venerations of gods. Sunday is the sun god. Monday, the moon god. Thursday, the god of Thor, the Nordic god. Wednesday is Odin, the god of the Nordics. Woden is Wednesday. Every single day of the week, and this is the reality, look it up. The months as well. Every month, June, July, August is veneration of somebody. It's veneration of a false god. And we are using this all the time. From their perspective, it should be haram to say Monday. But who says that? Because they can't. And so again, because we have to look at the reality of how the culture is done, not the origin. And again, there are rituals in every single religion that have faded out and become culture, without exception. And I'll give you an example from our own culture, is the Mandy, right? The Mandy that happens in the weddings, okay? And for the non-Desi folks here, there's it is mandatory in our culture, wajib. No, fard in Hanafi, fard. You cannot have, and this is something that even the most practicing ultra-conservative, Deobandi, Salafi, Ash'ari, whatever, they will all do it. Doesn't matter. They will do the Mahdi. What is the Mahdi? It is a celebration where henna is put in elaborate designs on the body of and the hand and the face and the feet of the bride. Okay. Now, it is well known that the origin of the Mahdi is Vedic Hindu practices. It is well known, look this up, that the origin is to venerate the sun by drawing symbols of the sun. That's why these intricate things are done in the color of the sun, the yellow and whatnot, right? and the turmeric and all of this is done there, it is coming straight out of Vedic practices in ancient Hinduism. But even Hindus these days don't even do it with that. It's gone. And Bangladeshis have it as well, right? The Mandy. And Nepalis and Pakistanis and Indians, we all are doing it. And we are Sikhs, Buddhists, Muslim, Hindu, it's all gone now. The ritual has lost its ritual meaning and has become something that is cultural. So the verdict will be based on the culture and not on the origin. Mandis are halal. What happens in them might be haram, that's something else. But the Mandi itself is halal. Okay? See, that's the point. So we look at what is going on over here.